I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All the Mods 10. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking for a bee-related episode, and today will be the start of our journey through the Productive Bees mod. But it's first going to start with a mod that makes the bees a lot easier, and that is the Bumblezone. Now, what exactly is the Bumblezone, you might ask? Well, my friends, it is a way for us to miniaturize ourselves and explore the inside of a beehive. Like, what's the point of that? Like, is it even that good? Oh, you have no idea. On the surface, the Bumblezone mod looks kind of tame, but it has a huge progression line. And I mean huge progression line. That is very, very fun, by the way. I will say this, that involves doing tasks for a queen, and then after those tasks are done, you will get yourself essence of the bee. Once that's done, it unlocks the true in-game of the Bumblezone and allows you to gather these items. And these items may not look that powerful. No. But there is one that does exceed the others, because one of them allows you to literally X-ray chests in the world. You heard me right. Actually X-ray chests and entities through the world. Oh, and also the dungeon for that is amazing. Oh, I can't wait to do that today. Now, besides all of that, getting into the Bumblezone is going to be incredibly important for getting into productive bees, because the sooner we get into productive bees, the sooner we can actually make max tier upgrades for those bees in the future. And the Bumblezone mod here actually has some integration built into the Productive Bees mod, allowing us to use pollen puffs to be able to make honey treats, which is going to make productive bees so much easier. Not only that, the entire Bumblezone dimension is just filled with honey and honeycombs. Now, I happen to have a advanced oak beehive, and I don't know if this actually works or not with this, but let's go ahead and get ourselves in to this dimension. And the way we can do that is by hopefully pushing ourselves with a piston into here or using an ender pearl on it. But the piston is kind of hilarious. Yes, and it does work with the productive bees. Oh, that is perfect. And here we go. You can of course do this with any beehive. But now we're miniaturized, we've been squished into a beehive, and we are ready to go. I also kind of love that the effect on her hat kind of looks like the mesh bee nets that you would see. Oh man. Now, this doesn't look so promising, right? We're not really in the best of spawn locations. This is really nice, though. We have a nice little garden area. But where the real magic happens is when we step foot into the wondrous dimension that is this. Oh, man, and this could not be a better spawn location. This is by far one of the prettiest biomes in the Bumblezone. I mean, seriously, just look at this tree. Oh, it's just gorgeous. That is beautiful. This is definitely going to be the place for the Bumblezone waypoint. Beautiful. Now, first thing to kind of get up and running while we're venturing in here is the honey seeds for mystical agriculture. This is going to make our life a little bit easier. We do need some honey bottles and also some honeycomb. And thankfully, this dimension saves us from needing to farm vanilla mobs to do this. Like, we won't have to farm vanilla bees. We can just simply walk over here and break some of this. However, this does pose a little bit of a problem to us. Notice we just received Wrath of the Hive. And this is a problem because bees will spawn all around us and they will be super angry, and we have to wait for this effect to go away. Now, I do have some fun things that will be able to utilize this later on, but for right now, oh my goodness, these guys. Later on, we'll be able to actually use this to our advantage for some of the challenges that we're going to have to take on. Now, before I pop out of here and make that seed, I do need to, like I said, grab a few of these honeycomb blocks. If the bees will allow, please let me grab a couple of honeycomb blocks. Thank you. That's all I need. Yeah, I'm going to get poisoned. Thankfully, poison really doesn't affect me too much, so this isn't going to be that big of a deal. Tell you what, though, getting this seed up and running is going to be super helpful later on, too, with our productive run. Now, remember that Wrath of the Hive effect? Well, you can actually dispel that Wrath of the Hive effect if you make yourself some honey cookies. So the honey cookies are going to be a necessity for getting around this place. This is just a great thing from Farmer's Delight. That is a sweet treat that we can just right click on the brood blocks to then make the bees like us again. Now, technically, one of the first things we really want to make to satisfy the quest line is going to be the honey compass. And the reason I say quest line is because the Bumblezone works off of your L advancement menu, L being the hotkey that opens this up. You're going to want to follow along with this because this is actually kind of important. Now, speaking of that quest line, by the way, it is asking us to go all the way down underground. And this is how you would actually get out of this dimension, is either by traveling all the way up, or you can travel all the way down in your world. And as soon as you break through the bottom layer and go into the void, it will actually teleport you out of this dimension. Now, while I'm down here, I don't want to go into the void just yet. I actually want some of these beehive wax blocks, as these are going to be used, I believe, later on for a few different things. But yeah, we should be able to just fall down. And when we do that, we'll end up right back in our world. Ooh, these right here are going to be pretty important as well. Honey crystals are a part of our first sort of progression, right? We need to find these honey crystals to be able to make that compass. But we also need to explore a bit and hopefully come across an entire biome filled with pollen, which is going to be very necessary for a progression later on. Now, along the way, we'll be discovering places like this, which is just absolutely breathtaking, but we're actually going to need to take advantage of this place as well in our progression down the road. So you know what? This might be a good time to build a bit of waste stones and probably utilize them. Now, locating that pollinated area is going to be a little bit accelerated if we use our nature's compass. So we can add the Bumblezone and we can search just about every biome that is available, pollinated fields being the one I'm actually looking for, and I just need to start heading in that direction. Of course, while finding all kinds of crazy structures along the way, which it might be a good idea if I like pop into some of these, by the way, and I take a peek. And yeah, definitely take these stingers. I swear some of these structures are just absolutely breathtaking whenever you encounter them. For example, the ancient lore that resides behind this mod is just kind of obscure, and I really, really love it. Oh, and by the way, if you're trying to break these, you're probably not going to be able to break these, even with your insta-break, when you land on them, simply because you're going to be affected by some effects that make it really bad. However, this can be bypassed with using the spell book, but there's a lot of things that are actually gated by progression within this mod through the quest book. So don't think that you're just going to be able to immediately jump into the Bumblezone, for example, and then immediately try to go for the essence of knowing without actually getting your essence of the bee first. Trust me, I have tried. It doesn't work. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, having some sort of flight really makes traveling through this area much, much easier. There technically is a way of obtaining flight from within the dimension itself by riding a bee, but yeah, regular flight is going to be way, way quicker. This right here is exactly what I'm looking for and is actually needed for us to craft our compass. So now with all of those items, including our honey bucket, we can make the one item that is going to let us progress, and it's the honey compass. This is going to take us to a very particular structure where we're then going to be able to find the queen bee. Once in the dimension, we just simply need to right click the compass and it's now going to point us in the direction of what is called a cell maze. It is at this point that I will recommend make sure you have yourself a water bucket on you and also some of those cookies. And this actually wasn't too far away. Now the water bucket's going to be kind of useful, right? And that's because it's the only way you're really going to be able to get through this honey web, and you just need to right click the bucket onto the honey web to be able to break it. This stuff is incredibly sticky, by the way, so you will get stuck to it and be like, how am I going to get out of here? Notice, by the way, we have Wrath of the Hive as soon as I enter into this cell maze, and we're going to start getting attacked. But this is where the sugar cookies come into play. We can use this, and now I no longer have Wrath of the Hive. Instead, I get recovery. No, I get, where's it at? It's called Protection of the Hive for 1 minute. And yes, you could technically copy that effect over and over again until you have unlimited ability of it. Or you could even go invisible, and even if you have Wrath of the Hive, it wouldn't matter. But we need to just basically loot. There's a lot of looting that needs to be done here. I just like to keep the cookies in my hand, walk around, and just try to loot stuff out of these containers. We're looking for very particular types of gear, and so that's what I'm going for grabbing. Also, by the way, the bee bread is another thing you can use on those brew blocks. Now, things like this is going to be kind of important. For example, the honey shield, definitely going to be worth taking. And any full gear, not the leather dyed gear, but any of the full bee gear which by the way, we should find on armor stands. Stinger spears are also something that I would definitely grab. We can use these, however, and we can actually craft those yeah, we can craft them later on. They're pretty cheap to craft, but we are going to need these for bee trades. And this right here is exactly what I was talking about. On an armor stand, all of the bee gear should reside. Perfect. I want to put all of this away and keep it in safe housing because we are going to want to utilize all of this bee gear down the road. Till then though, I can equip it in my cosmetic slots, and look at that, we're now a bee. Now this right here is, I believe, what we're looking for. This is a Lester mystery structure. Ooh, actually no, this does not lead to the queen, I do believe. If I click this, it's going to lead us to a mystery structure. So we just have to keep looking. Eventually we'll find it. This is another mystery structure. I think these rooms though are the ones that do contain the compass. Ah, the throne pillar. This is the one I'm looking for. So this is the one that you need to find in order to locate the queen bee, which is where our next steps start. Now you may be asking yourself, Chosen, how many times have you gone through the Bumblezone now at this point? And I'm going to have to say probably too many. I have done this mod a lot. But I will say, every time I've gone through here, I've actually discovered new things and new ways that I can progress. And I think the last time I played around with this was when I actually discovered that there was more to it than just getting to the bee. Well, the queen bee, that is. Like, discovering that there was actually an in-game to this mod was kind of cool. By the way, now that we have this, we can start to head to our queen bee, and this is going to be the first of several trials that we're going to be taking on. Now, I can't believe I haven't done this sooner, but something that will also help us sort of navigate these honeycombs is the Eclipse Gate wand. Yeah, because of one of its primary functions. If we go ahead and we remove the void shift and we just go with the Eclipse Gate here, we can right click on blocks. For example, in the Bumblezone, if I head back, and we can use this to just simply create holes in the blocks themselves, allowing us to simply travel through to get through these honeycomb areas. So, the queen bee. Wow, this is the prettiest one I've ever seen, by the way. Usually, this right here is like in some massive hallway, but the fact that this is all nice and open here is amazing. Okay, so this is where the queen bee resides. You can see it's pointing us right to it. And we should be, for the most part, fine when entering into this building. It's kind of cool. There's like water actually flowing right over top of the entrance. But here we are. This is the queen bee. This is where you also want to be kind of careful when placing things. Notice, by the way, the queen bee, once you place it, you cannot pick it back up because you end up getting mining fatigue pretty bad. I think over here, I'm just going to put this right here and say queen. And yes, you can pick up the queen. I don't recommend doing it on servers or anything like that, just to save people who, you know, might need to come and do trades with the bee yourself. But you can mob swap the bee, I do believe. And that would be kind of helpful. But in this case, we have the bee and we're in the presence, and it's going to offer this. It says Magnolia expansion box for the next 20 minutes. And if we trade, there's a chance for us of getting some honey, but that's not the best way of actually getting honey, believe it or not. Sorry, not honey, royal jelly, which by the way is what you see this purple fluid in that's going over the top. Cool thing is you can actually get a source block of the royal jelly right above the queen if you go up this stream, but I'm not really worried about that at the moment. What I really want to do is I just simply want to trade a little bit so that way we can get some stingers. And by the way, we can trade amethyst to get ourselves a 31% chance at getting stingers. And there's actually a lot of really helpful things that we can trade with the bee. There's like dye trades and all kinds of cool stuff like that. By the way, I'm traveling back and forth because I do not have full cross-dimensional applied logistics yet. I just haven't set up the wither to be able to get to the stars yet, but I will be doing that in the future. It would be really helpful for me though right now. Let's go ahead and grab some amethyst, which we have plenty of amethyst essence to be able to make this. And I just want to trade for some stingers because we are going to need those for our next step. And by the way, you can simply right click on here and this allows you to trade with the bee, just like you see here. And you can notice I'm getting stingers. Now you got to be careful because I also just ended up getting a royal jelly from trading, and I accidentally right clicked on the bee with the royal jelly, and royal jelly has a chance of giving you some good stuff. I end up getting another star, believe it or not. So now that we have met the queen and we've done some trades, we can now open up our L menu, and this is where the real magic starts to happen. This long quest line that you see right here are all of the tasks that need to be completed in order to get the journey's end quest finished. This is super important, by the way. We need to do all of these activities, and not all of them are very difficult. And just to run through them, this is going to be 6 bee nests need to be crafted. Very easy. Smash and kill 32 spiders. That's just it. Then you also need to gulp down 8 bottles of honey and throw and hit 24 entities with pollen puffs. As you can see, some of them are not too bad. Kill 8 silverfish. That's going to be pretty straightforward. And then fire 32 bee stingers from a bow or crossbow. Great. Breed honey slimes. This one can take a little bit of time, but you only need to breed 6 of them. And then there is butcher 16 cave spiders. These are the ones that are going to, give you poison. And then we have 12 bees. We have to save them by reattaching stingers. Thankfully, we can do that to, I believe, the same bee. And then there is, you can duplicate flowers. So you need to duplicate flowers with pollen puffs. That's a really cool mechanic. And then somehow manage to kill a wither with a stinger spear. So yes, we will have to take on a wither again. And then satisfy the hunger of the bees by feeding them sugar water or honey-like stuff 48 times. That is actually not too difficult either. Then there's breed bees. A total of 8 babies are born. That is where we're going to be doing some very interesting things to get that to happen. Slay 4 endermites. That's not too bad either. And become legendary by slaying the ender dragon in full bee armor. So that's the one where you have to have full bee armor on. And then there is trade 128 times with the bee, which I just did to get the stingers that we're going to need for all the other quests. Now, the order for which you do these don't really matter that much. For example, this one right here is just simply shoot stingers from a bow, and I have to do this so many times. And same with crafting the hives. We have the honeycombs now, so I can easily just craft the hives. Each time we do complete a quest like this, we should receive a single royal jelly. Now you may be wondering, is royal jelly renewable? Actually, I believe it is, because you can actually reset this entire quest line after it has been completed. And whenever you reset the entire quest line, you should be able to receive these rewards again. And so doing all of this, I guess you could end up getting nether stars eventually by doing this. By the way, I'm reattaching the stingers. And like I said, you have to do so many of them, right? And I don't think it matters on what bee you do this on, just so long as you reattach. By the way, there's a cave spider. Yeah, there it is. Save 12 bees from certain death by putting their stingers back on. Now, to be able to breed the bees, this can be one of the more challenging things to do. But if you get Wrath of the Hive and you have yourself some cookies and you put some poppies in your offhand, what you want to do is you want to get as many of these bees to gather around you, which they'll just start spawning all around you, which is really helpful. Notice you have tons of bees around you, and then you just need to go over, once you have done this, find a brood block, and then simply do this, and they will all like you. And when they like you, they'll just stay near you so long as you have flowers. And this is a quick way to get all of the breeding done on the bees. Now, when looking for spiders, this I do believe contains a spider spawner. Yes, just like that. And I do recommend giving it some upgrades. You can actually speed this up quite a bit. And all we have to do is just simply take these spiders out. Just watch out, because the bees are going to be, well, also taking them out as well. While I'm working on spiders, I think I can also just hit spiders with pollen puffs. There's so many particles going on. But yeah, that also completes another one. So yeah, some of these you can actually do at the same time, which is not too bad. Now, to be able to take out the endermites and also the silverfish, this is the place where you'll do that. So if you find this structure, it's great for this all in one go. Down here will be the endermites, and through here will be silverfish. And we only have to do so many of these. Yeah, there's so many spawners for these down here. And I think we only need to kill 4 or 5 of these, right? Yeah, just 4 of them. This is by far the easiest one, where you just simply craft the bee nest until you get the royal jelly for it. Like I said earlier though, the flower one is kind of cool, right? Because you can use pollen puffs to duplicate these flowers. Notice how they're just growing more flowers, and you can just keep throwing the pollen puffs until you have more and more flowers. Now, I think the easiest way, for example, to get the cave spiders is, yeah, by finding one of these and taking them out. This has got to be it, an underground mine shaft. and finding yourself one of the cave spider spawners in here. Now, I only think you need a few for this. So yeah, I'm just going to speed up the spawner just a little bit, give it a little bit of space to spawn, and I should be good. Yeah, of course, taking damage from them. Yeah, it looks like we need 16 of these instead of 32. I also need to go ahead and gulp down a few bottles of honey, this being, yeah, one of the easier ones. We're getting really close to almost being done. I do need to take like this bee and just feed it all of the honey treats that I have on me. 48 of them. This is going to be one stuffed bee, like by the time I'm done clicking all of these. But when all said and done, I'm almost positive that should have completed that mission, right? Unless I was like one off or something like that. No, I think we did it. Yeah, 48 times. So now we're really close to the final two, which is going to require the wither to be killed, and we're also going to be required to take on the dragon in bee gear, which honestly, those aren't going to be too bad. But this right here is something that I do want to work on. And this is breeding these guys up. And this is going to take a little bit of trial and error. You can find areas that already have like a predefined pin, but yeah, just kind of getting them where I want them is going to be a pain. You know what? This actually might be the perfect time to use Just Dire's creature catcher. Then we can just throw it back down, and now these guys will be perfect, ready to go, just like that. So we've got to do this breeding. Thankfully, though, whenever they do breed, we can use sugar to accelerate these guys being a little bit bigger, quicker, by giving them sugar, and their growth time is going to be accelerated. And I'm only going to do this 6 times. And I almost think that it would be faster to just simply breed them on the spot, like after finding new slimes. Like, I think that might be the best way to go about it. There we go. We can like put these guys together, try to get their breed timer going again. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. And here we go. I think this is the last one. If not, there's another set over here. But these should be the last one, and I should have 13. Yep, there we go. So honestly, we're nearly through the hard part. So now let's take on this wither problem. Now, to solve this, it's actually not that difficult. We just need to simply spawn in the wither. So we'll get the wither in just like this, and we're going to take the wither down by hand with other means. But I did go ahead and use a wither-proof blocks by using tinted glass from mob grinding utils. And we just need to have the stinger ready to go. Now, when I originally first tried to solve this problem, I didn't realize that I could, for example, like use the stinger not as a javelin, but instead use it as a sword. And so I ended up causing myself a little bit of pain there, but we can get the wither quite a bit down. I didn't mean to take the wither fully out, but there we go. Anyways, I guess if anything, we're getting ourselves some cross-dimensional nether stars. But yes, I've got to get the wither down, which is going to be a bit of a hassle in its own right. The spell is just too powerful at this point. Honestly, let's take out some amplifies. That'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so with the wither nearly down, we can just simply punch the wither, just like this, with the spear, slowly but surely. There we go, and the wither is down. Yes, and we managed to use the spear to take it out. Now we will be needing this dragon egg, which I've never actually gathered. After we took on the dragon, I just, forewent doing this. But I think one of the easiest ways to get it from here is just by putting a piston here, just to be able to push it and making sure our magnet is on. There we go, and we now have ourselves a dragon egg. Now, I do want to keep this because we are able to duplicate our dragon eggs with the extractor. So I'm going to need this later on for our bees. This is actually what's going to allow us to progress really, really fast in productive bees. But I have a job to do. I've got to switch into this gear before actually killing the dragon, meaning I got to take off all of my gear here and swap it with this Bumblezone gear before doing this. Now, I do want to get the dragon down a little bit beforehand, and to be able to resummon the dragon, we can either, I think, use the standard method down here, or we can actually click the crystals right here, and this will allow the dragon to be resummoned. Now, I know some of you guys are probably saying, well, why are you doing this? Like, you might as well also make yourself a hostile neural networks card. And you know what? You're actually right. And if you've never played with hostile neural networks before, we actually need to kill the dragon a few times while having the framework data model clicked on it and having it inside of the deep learning. Just adds a few more steps to what I'm currently working on. but this should all play out in the end. Okay, that was a pretty bad pun there. All right, without further ado, let's hope I don't accidentally kill the dragon too fast and I can't swap gear in time. But yes, I have to wait for the whole process of the dragon to resummon. Alrighty, let's catch up to this guy. And can I even right click it? I probably have to wait for the dragon to land, don't I? Well, there's no way I'm gonna be able to reach. Wait, maybe. Nope, not while it's in the air. Nope, never mind. I did manage to get that. Okay, so once you have the data model, I'm just gonna slap that in there and put it inside the deep learner slot. Actually, I might just keep it in my offhand. I don't know what would be, you know what, I'm gonna keep it in the deep learner slot. That should be fun. Now for the fun part. I can just probably use the hurt spell on the dragon, and I bet that this will be more than capable of taking it out now, considering how much more powerful our spell power is. Yeah, it's doing so much damage to it. Now, I think I've gotten it as low as I probably want it at the moment. So let's go ahead and take off our gear and swap it for B gear. And yes, I know the dragon is definitely regenerating, which is probably not optimal, but I can still use my spells here, and I probably can deal pretty good damage. Yeah, if I just get close enough. Yes, especially with the dragon now landing. Yeah, with the spell book and all of our gear, this is still going to be incredibly fast. Oh no. And rip goes the dragon again. But this time, we're in full B gear. Look at us. Look at us doing so good. Woo! We did it! And we also finally completed that B sort of progression line. Also, I had this deep learner inside of my slot here, and I am assuming it's probably broken because it still says 2 remaining, which means it didn't even work being in that slot. So I probably have to have it in my offhand next time I take this out. So now technically we should have 16 royal jelly. I have 15 because I accidentally right-clicked one on the B and traded with it, which I did thankfully get another star from, which means I'm actually going to go ahead and upgrade my system here and upgrade my infinity booster into a dimensional card. With all of those nether stars, dimensional card, here we go. And I wonder, is this going to be like super cheap on power? It's still super cheap, but now we can access our terminal cross-dimensionally. I know I should have done this a long time ago, but it is what it is. Now with this entire quest line done, there is still one more thing we need to do, and that is go talk to the queen herself. Ah, queen, there you are. All right, so now we just simply right-click on the queen, and when doing this is congrats on your accomplishment. It says to redo the queen's desire quest line, right-click the B with an empty hand to reset those advancements. So that is where I was saying you can actually redo that entire quest line if you really want to. But our primary goal is to just simply consume this essence of the bee, and it will give us some permanent buffs for this dimension specifically. So which is going to be very, very nice and allow us to now enter into a new place. There we go. Hope, love, dream, and bees. That's right. So now we can actually go after one of the most powerful items from this mod, in my opinion. And this is going to require us to search for purple sanctum. So this opens up a sanctum questline after completing this, and sanctums can be very far away, which is its only downside. Notice I don't even think it located that structure. That means we need to be near a sanctum. And you can see right here, ancient origins, discover and enter any sanctum after consuming essence of the bee. And so we can enter any of them. Of course, this one says red sanctum. You can go through for the first one. But in my opinion, the purple one is by far the most worthwhile. So after wandering around a bit and just keep retrying, I did finally locate a purple sanctum. And yes, it did take a little bit of time. Notice I'm like 17,000 blocks out. I do recommend utilizing that RTP command that it does tell you about in the quest for finding structures like this, especially when they are really, really far out. But now this behemoth of a structure is actually what I'm looking for. And this, I do believe, prevents flight whenever you're in here, or it used to prevent flight, especially whenever you drop down in here. Now, the primary goal of this area is to simply make it to the bottom. Thankfully, though, after being able and consuming that food, we should be able to break this material here. So the ancient bricks, notice I can actually break them, which before we would not be able to. Quick little tip, though, you can actually break right through here. Yeah, with ours, super easy with its break spell. And to be honest, you don't really have to worry about this too much because the mod here actually wants you to break down through the center of this area anyways in order to progress through it. So notice I'm dropping all the way to the bottom. Technically, you get all the way to the bottom just by going to the center of the building and breaking straight down. And believe there's like netherite and everything straight down the middle. But I am after this block right here. Yes. This room is where we need to be in order to get this item. And we have to complete the ultimate challenge. Now, the entirety of this sanctum has a soundtrack, and you can now hear that soundtrack playing as I did turn up the music. But the inside of this arena is also going to have some really cool music that goes along with the entirety of the challenge. Let's do this. This has to be one of the coolest, and I mean coolest, things. By the way, ow. Notice how much it hurts. Oh my gosh, it hurts so much. Yes, yeah, we are going to take some severe damage if I'm not careful. But this is exactly what you think it is. We have to go through this and avoid all of the spikes. What a cool little dungeon. I love stuff like this. We just have to move out of the way before they turn purple. And this is in the Bumblezone. Like, I was blown away the first time I realized this, and I realized how locked away this whole thing is. By the way, it is a 3.5 minute long challenge. So yeah, you have to get through this progression here. How cool is that? I wish more people knew about this because I'm almost positive very few people will go to the sanctums because of how deeply they're embedded into the progression of the mod. It's just absolutely breathtaking. I love it. And this is one of the better ones. All of the different sanctums have different challenges in them. Everything between mob challenges, where you'll have waves of mobs you have to attack, all the way to basically playing ping pong, essentially. Yeah, there is one that's kind of like ping pong a little bit. It's kind of hilarious. But yes, I'm also still blown away by the way that they did the coding for this, because this is just, it's too cool. But I'm talking too much. Ow. By the way, if you die, you should respawn right outside of the main area. Ah! Okay. You only get so many chances, by the way. Ow! Frick! This hurts so bad. This will kill me. I am in vibranium gear, by the way. It does not care about your gear. It bypasses your gear entirely. You only get so many chances, and I've got to make it 2 minutes through this thing. It's also about to start spinning. Yes. But I tell you, the item that we get from this, by far, is one of the best items that we could achieve. And I think it can be recharged by redoing this challenge. But later on, we might be able to make it absolutely unbreakable. So, just something to keep in mind there. I think also being in the F5, being in this view is probably the best. Yeah. Oh no. It does get very challenging here soon, by the way. Very, very challenging. All right, we're 1 minute and 30 in. Come on. We've just got to beat this. All right, it looks like it's getting easier. I think, yeah, staying near the edge of the blocks is probably a good idea. Oh, gosh. At least it gave me a heads up a little bit. Oh, no. It's like right on the edge. We're getting no space. Oh, no. It's so scary, too, when you first take damage and you realize, oh, I'm not invincible anymore. Like, my gear is not going to keep me safe. Yeah, that's when it becomes really scary. Okay, here we go. Oh no. We have to fit between in like a single block space. Oh, it's getting tighter. No. Oh god, and we're bouncing around. Whew. Let us auto heal. Oh man, if we didn't have auto eating, this would be insanely stressful. All right, we've got to try and fit like in a single block. Oh gosh. Ow. The fact that we take like bounce, it bounces us, it knocks us around. There we go, and oh, 14 seconds left. a single block space. No! Ah! I'm gonna die. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. No! Oh, we're popping our bottles. Oh my goodness, we only survived that because of these angel heart vials. Oh, but look what we got. Look what we got. We got the essence of the knowing. And the essence of the knowing is insanely powerful. So now back at the base to show you the moment of truth and the item that by far is incredibly broken. I present to you the essence of knowing. By right-clicking this and putting it in our offhand, we can now see entities and chests through the world. These little brown boxes, by the way, are the loot chests that are actually inside of these different areas. And yes, it shows you exactly where they are located. For example, there's a chest right there. There's a chest hidden, and you can now start to see why this item is incredibly powerful. Now, this does come with a durability, so the durability will end eventually, and I believe you can redo the course to refill it, I think. No. It goes on cooldown when it's depleted in power, and it takes 15 minutes to recharge in the inventory of someone who had consumed essence of the bee in the past. So yes, it is infinite, and it just goes on a 15-minute cooldown after use. So like I said, pretty darn powerful. No more will I ever miss a chest in a dungeon. Now, also speaking of powerful, getting into productive bees now is going to be even more powerful than ever, considering the fact of all of the things that we can actually get from those productive bees, on top of the ease of getting into bees because of the Bumblezone. This effect is just completely wild. I'm not even sure if this actually might be showing us where all of the ore is as well underground, because certain ores, I'm almost positive this is ore right here. Oh no, it's showing us where all of the silverfish blocks are. Oh, it's just too, this feels so powerful. Man, oh man, what an absolute adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully you learned something new. Whether it was about the Bumblezone or how we're going to be diving into productive bees, or that there was an in-game just like you've seen here. Ah, man. Be sure to check out this mod, the Bumblezone. It is totally worth your time, especially for this item alone. And guys, I hope I was worth your time. Be sure to click that subscribe button if I was, and give this video a huge thumbs up. And also don't forget to comment down below, like, what's your thoughts on the Bumblezone and or this particular item? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Join the Discord, follow me over on Twitch, do all that fun stuff. And guys, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks, by the way, is going to go out to Chaz. Thank you so much, by the way, for your amazing support and choosing to support this content that I make over on Discord by becoming a Discord premium member, and of course supporting in one of the best ways possible. Guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and as always, thanks for watching.